Hey everyone, and welcome to my campfire. I'm Pine. Um, you may be wondering why this video is a little odd, and I figured I would try something new. Try something kind of my own style. That said, I'm about to show you how to do something similar to this. I thought to myself, I really like these. Whenever artists do tutorials to show you how they usually do their different work, but my main fascination is pixel work. The unfortunate thing is, I'm terrible at it. So I thought to myself, how can I try something like this to get a style like this in Blender? Easy. So let's open up a brand new project. I'm going to slide these across. I usually like to do this because this will let me control my UVs, and this can be my shader editor. First thing we're going to do is clear off the entire board, add a brand new plane, press 7 on the numpad in order to get a top view. We're going to add a camera, Control Alt 0 to center it to your view. I'm going to change a couple other things. For example, because I want this to be a pixel art, I'm going to choose 32 by, let's say, 32. Actually, let's do the Minecraft standard, which is 16 by 16. From here, we can change the camera settings while we have it selected. We're going to change this to orthographic. That way we get a straight down view. Click on the plane, scale this bad boy up, and now we're going to create a new texture. First, we're going to add a Musgrave. I like Musgrave because it's the more crazy one. It can be controlled with 4D by basically giving you more of a different seed, if you will, for a random generation. If nothing else, it's just good to make every piece unique. We're also going to add a color ramp, and we're going to have this controlled by the Musgrave. And we're going to output this as the base coat. Then we're going to go to material preview so we can actually see that. Give it a minute. Yay, cow texture. Simple, easy, done, cool, we're ready. No, I'm kidding. From here, we're going to change this to constant. Constant makes it so, as it says on the tin, they're constant. But when fed by a Musgrave texture, it'll allow those edges to be a lot cleaner and sharper so we can get a more distinct color. FMB is great. That's usually the standard, and you can get good cow patterns, but it doesn't give much circles. I like to use hybrid multifractal. This one can sometimes get you good ones, but it gets sometimes good loops. I think let's try it rigid this time. I think that'll be a nice one. So we're going to lower down the scale so we can get these big round circles. I think around 3 is good. We're gonna tip this as close as we can. See, awesome. That gives us kind of our first little wave like that we have here. But we need it to match the color correctly. So in rendered view, you'll see that without lights, it won't do anything. So this is going to need to be emitted. I'm sure there's different lighting and different things I could do, but emission makes it the easiest. We're going to duplicate this plane, and we're going to duplicate it one more time. So now we have 3. And probably duplicate it one last time, and this one will be on the bottom. We'll clear the texture for now. So, what you're going to do with this top layer is you're going to take the color and add it as the alpha. This will take the black and white and say, okay, here cut and here don't cut. First we have to tell it how it has to cut. Will it cut it gradually? This helps if you have more varied color, or if you want gradients. I personally like stark colors, so we're going to choose Alpha Clip. You may not see it here. Oh, there it is. As you can see, all of the black has been cut out, leaving the white. So we can flip this, and it will cut out any of the black spot, so we can up that just a little bit. Oh, geez. These are always a pain to click. There we go. And see, now we are left with these nice big splotches. Actually, I think I have this backwards. Silly me. I think though. There we go. Because we want long, we don't want the splotches cut out. Or we want the splotches cut out, not the kind of long veins. So these are the long, nice veins. So this first one, where it's white, we don't want to go into any darker colors. Any dark colors will be considered too dark and will be considered more of a black. But certain light colors can easily phase through. I think that kind of matches up. Yeah, perfect. Now this bottom one, we're going to create a new texture for that one as well. Or new material texture. I kind of get stuck with both in my head quite a bit. We're going to change the emission to that nice bottom blue. It's more of a dark blue. And we'll kind of, yeah, it's nice. Perfect. So now, as you can see here, we have that nice streak. And the reason why I told you to render at 12 by 12 is if I hit F12 right now, it'll render it as a nice sprite. And this is probably the easiest way you can do these different things. So each one of these layers, let's say you can duplicate it. And then this one, we're going to make a more different blue. And then we change the W a bit. The W. Zoop. And now we have another layer. And then that too can be adjusted. Now, the one thing I always get frustrated with is I can never get these too thin. It always is so frustrating to try to do that. Because you can sit here and fiddle with it and try to get it as close as you can, but too far and it'll completely disappear. Well, that's easy. I'm going to lower the scale to make these a little bit longer and wider. And then we're going to add a math. Now, the big thing to understand is that black and white data that we've been feeding, or in this case, changing it to different shades of blue and black, can easily be pointed down to numbers. So, using that same data, well, the Musgrave is spitting out a black and white, which can be considered anywhere between 0 and 1. So we'll clamp it to ensure it stays between that number. And this will allow us to minorly control how thin it is. Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm so sorry. You want to divide. My brain just instantly thought that would be divide. Oh well. Now then, back to what I was saying. Using this number, you can kind of feather it a little bit. And that should, yeah, there it goes. Multiply can give you thicker numbers. Divide can give you thinner. So now, zoop. Oh, that is very nice. And then, again, I want that thinner. Boom. Divide it again. Make it smaller. I think that's too small. No, yeah, that's perfect. Man, that's starting to look like a SpongeBob background, huh? Hang on, let me actually switch these up. I like this on top. Yeah, that'll be nice. And then now this last one, let's say it's this plane. Yep. This one's going to get its own material. Beep. We're going to give this a darker blue. Ooh, actually, some orange would give it a nice sunset look, but not interested. This one needs to go under. You want to have your lighter colors on top, representing like the sun or suds and waves. There we go. That's much nicer. And we hit F12. And there you go. Now, if this is as far as you want to go, you can easily do as he was doing it. He did 32x32, so let's change it to 32 by 32. We'll render that. That is a much nicer one. Now let's say we wanted to make this seamless, because if, let's say we were to save this, and we'll save it in my documents as water. And we close that. Let's say we wanted to tile this. So what I'm going to do is hide these. Take that bottom one I'm going to turn the emission to black so I can turn it off. Come back to the top. We're going to hit Shift A, add an image. We're going to have this image's color as our main color and our emission, just so I can keep it rendered, because I'm weird. We're going to open this, and it said it saved it in my documents, was it? There it is, water. Now, anytime Blender opens up, it uses linear, which tries to interpolate colors between 2 points and give it blurry. So if you want that pixel art look, you're going to need to change it to closest. So there's our water. Doesn't look too bad, actually. So we're going to hit Tab, which goes into edit mode. Hit A to select all, make sure it's face. You can't see it because I have it disabled for widgets and such, or overlays. Widgets is this one. Our gizmos. Oh, is widget Maya? I can't remember. I think it was part of an older program. I used to use Fusion 360. I think that's where I maybe got widget. But I think those are tools. Either way. So let's say that we wanted this to repeat. So I'm making the UV much smaller, and that's not tiling very well, my friend. You can see these top and bottom parts are kind of cut really poorly. Well, this is where I learned about a feature in GIMP. Something I was super excited to find out about is that there is something that can make seamless textures for me and is free. I don't have enough for Photoshop or anything like that, so it's unfortunately something I have to do. Now we're going to go into my documents. We'll pull up that water texture. Awesome. Now check this out. We're going to click Filter, Map, Tile Seamless. And usually the first one gives me good results. Then we'll go File, Export As. It'll be a PNG. We'll call this Water Seamless. Export. A bunch of questions I don't understand, so I click Export. And we'll get rid of GIMP. Now, we'll open that up with the Water Seamless. Boom. It looks a little goofier, and I actually kind of like it. It actually kind of looks like a cloud texture. But this can easily get you your water texture that you're kind of going for different things. But I would definitely play around in GIMP to get that seamless a little bit different. Alternatively, here is the last trick I will offer to you. We can go into texture paint mode. And what I like to do is I create a texture, a new brush. This one will be it is a type of clouds, and it is a cell noise. We'll bring up the scale a little bit. Well, technically bring down, but I mean like how many pixel dots. Now I have a little tablet I can use for mine, but you should be able to do it by playing with strength or not. And what I'll like to do is I find the most common color, this kind of being this lightish whitish color, and then these areas, oops, 5. Oh no, I meant 7. There we go. These kind of areas, I'll kind of wait. Go back, goofball. Something's. Oh yeah, it's because cell noise. Oh my goodness. It's because cell noise chooses to go more biased towards black. So whenever I draw this, it'll choose blacks to go with the blues, very darker colors. But that's okay. So I can feather this out. I'll kill off the texture, and I'll kind of color it in lightly. And it tiles because I have this set to the tile over here. You know, repeat, and then so when I'm drawing over here, it thinks I'm drawing over here because normally there would be a cube there, so you can kind of see. Alternatively, if none of this is working for you, this is the last thing I have to offer, and you're gonna laugh at me because this is absolutely the funniest thing. If none of that is working, and you think you have absolutely the ability to do it, and I believe in you that I know you can just do it as I was doing there. And that's pulling up the UV editor, the shader editor, we'll shift A. Oh, I need to have an object first, silly. There we go. Same thing as I was doing before. We're going to add an image. We're going to create this image in Blender as a 32 by 32. We'll name it the wave, man. Hit OK. We're going to turn up the roughness, that way I can see the colors. We're going to hit this. We're going to hit tab. We're going to scale up its. We're going to scale up its UV so that way it tiles. And then we're going to go into texture paint mode. And this is some of my favorite bits in Blender, is the color palette. So let's say I wanted this kind of blue, and I want to make sure I have that blue again, just in case I don't want to do a certain thing. As you can see, it will allow me to tile that, which is probably the best aspect of this entire thing. So I can then grab this lighter blue. I'm going to very heavily decrease the size of my brush. I said decrease, not increase. And I'm just going to kind of and that's you. And then so you can kind of give this like a wave, that tile texture through. Kind of hint at another one. Get that all squared out and nice. Nice, that could look like a wave. I'd believe that. You could probably have that like, look, if I was to play with it, I could do Control T. And then we'll have it on its UV because it is unwrapped. And then we'll joke around and be like, oh no, the water's moving. Whoosh. But that's another way you can make a seamless tile. There are many different things you can do, be it in Blender or GIMP. I'm sorry for the goopy, impromptu nature of this. I felt it was something that would be pretty fun. And if you like more videos like this, let me know, and I'll absolutely make more tutorials like this. So, I'm terrible at saying goodbyes, so with all that, thank you very much. And thank you for coming to my campfire.